Boom! What's up, Familia? Dayspring here with an episode of Power of X-Men to discuss the most ridiculous thing ever on the face of the earth. I saw Chris Evans at a bar recently, and I was like, oh my god, that's Captain America. I did not want to go up to take a photo with him. I didn't want to disturb him because he was with a group of friends and his wife. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to disrupt this good time that everyone's having just so I can be like, hey, can I have a selfie? So I did post a photo, and the internet has gotten so angry at me about it.
Done it to me, they're gonna do it to you.
I am going to break it all down for you. Apologies for my setup. I am at the airport because I am traveling. It is a very busy work season for me, and I'm on the road. And I'm not going to have a home for like the next week. I'm just going to be living out of airports and hotels. So I figured this would be a good place as any. All right, let's get into it. So I took a flight from DC to Boston. And it's really funny. I took the first flight out and I was worried about taking it because I was like, oh man, I'm going to be so tired once I land. And I ended up being really glad that I took it because the rain in the Northeast has been next level. And so many flights were canceled. And in fact, if you've seen it, New York is underwater. I mean, those are sandy level like photos that are coming out of it. So I land, I go to my hotel, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to crash because I'm going to die. So I crash for a few hours. I run to my gig, which is in downtown Boston because I overslept. My call time is like 4 o'clock and it was 3:50. So I'm like hauling ass to the hotel where the event is going to be at. I make it. It's a really hard gig, man. These are hard times that we live in. The gig was really hard and I had a throbbing headache afterwards. And I was like, I just need to lay down. And so I'm laying down on the floor of the green room and I get a text message that my husband is going to meet me for a drink at the venue bar, and that my boss just finished an event and that he wanted to meet up as well. So I told everyone just to meet at the venue I was at and we'll meet at the hotel bar. So again, my head is throbbing. I'm so tired. I'm like, oh gosh, that was a hard event. And my husband messages me and is like, oh, hey, I'm downstairs. I was like, great, I'll go meet you. I'm making this sound a lot nicer than it actually was. I was like, oh, you're downstairs. Why can't you just come up? So I go downstairs to meet him. I'm on the third floor. I take the escalators down. And as I'm coming down, I hear this laugh that sounds so familiar. To paint it for you, the escalators are right here. The hotel bar is right here. The lobby is here. It's like a long stretch for the lobby, you know. So I'm coming down the escalators. I turn, I'm in like the lobby of the hotel, and I hear this laugh that sounds so familiar to me. And I'm like, huh, I know that laugh from somewhere. And I turn around, I'm like, oh, it's Chris Evans. It's hysterical. I literally, he made brief eye contact with me. I'm sure he gets it all the time. I'm sure he gets it all the time. But for me, I don't see Chris Evans all the time. So I literally look at him like, oh, like that. It is so ridiculous. I feel so embarrassed that I did that to another human being. Can you imagine like you're just walking and someone looks at you and you're like, oh, the absurdity of that. But anyways, I'm like, oh, it's Chris Evans. Oh my God. And I quickly look away and then I look back and I'm like, oh my God, it really is him. And he's like with a big group of people. I don't know. I mean, people were asking me online, was it his wife? Who was he with? I'm more than certain his wife was with him. But I don't even know the wife's name. I had read casually that he had gotten married. I was like, great. I saw his GQ interview posted a couple weeks ago. In fact, I think I even posted a clip about it on YouTube and Instagram because I liked what he said about characters and respecting characters. I think Chris Evans is a really great guy. I have been a fan of his since Not Another Teen Movie, but I'm not like a diehard stan. I don't really keep up with his news unless it's something major, like he got married. I'm like, oh, good for him. I don't know who the actress, model, celebrity, whoever he married. I had no idea who it was. Anyways, So I literally do so many takes. I'm like, oh my God, that is for sure Chris Evans. He's wearing a dark shirt. I'm like, oh my God, his hair's out. His hair looks great. It looks like how it was during Fantastic Four. I was like, man, that guy, he's so handsome IRL. So handsome IRL. 110% certain it's him, not mistaking him for Ben Affleck, as some people have accused me of. 110% Chris Evans. And I was just like, what? Oh my God, it's Chris Evans. Anyways, I text message my husband because I can't see him. I'm like, hey, Chris Evans is at the hotel, just a heads up. It was hysterical. So I go outside. My husband was waiting for me outside. I'm like, oh my God, Chris Evans is here. And we walk towards the third floor again. And Chris is entering the hotel bar area. And I go like this to my husband. I'm like, that's Chris Evans there. And he looks at him and he's like, wait, is it? Oh my God, it is. And we're like, oh my God, Captain America is at the event hotel space that we're at. And we were just like gleeful, right? We've had a tough year. As many of you know, our palms have passed. My mom has dementia. We moved down to Miami and we're not really vibing with the move. And, we kind of regret leaving New York. And so we're living on the road, commuting back and forth between all these cities that we're going to. So just seeing Captain America in that moment put the biggest smile on our face. So I go upstairs. I wrap the event. My boss messages me to say that he's at the hotel bar. I was like, perfect, let's do it. Go downstairs. There was a wedding also at the venue. So the entire bar is full of people from the wedding. And I'm like, oh my God, to my boss, I'm like, you would never believe it. Chris Evans, Captain America himself, is here. And my boss just looks around. It's like, he's part of the wedding. I was like, I don't know if he's part of the wedding or not, but he's here. I assume they probably just put him in a back room and we'll never see him again. And so my boss and I sit down and we talk, we debrief. My husband's there. We're having some vodka sodas. And so I'm sitting right here and the bar is like right here. I'm trying to make this look like it makes sense. So I'm here and the bar is like right here. And in the corner here, I look up like 10 minutes into me sitting down with my boss, going over what the event and the gig I just did. I'm like, oh my God, that's Chris Evans. That's Chris Evans right there. I was like, should I go up and ask for a selfie? I'm like, I have a Marvel X-Men podcast. I mean, I should go up and ask for a selfie. Here's the reason why I did not go up and ask for a selfie, because I've gotten so many stands being like, well, you should have gone up and asked for a selfie because he's very accommodating. He would have done it. Sure. I'm sure if I had gone up and was like, hey, I'm a fan. Do you mind if I take a photo? He more than likely would have said yes. I'm sure of it. But he was with a group of friends, his wife, and they were all engaged in really great conversation. And they were in a corner. And Chris, for the most part, had his back turned to the room. And I have to tell you, they looked like they were having the funnest time ever. And his wife, he was like caressing her, holding her hand. She was very pretty IRL. I don't know anything about what's going on with them, how long they've been dating. I don't know what's going on with the fan community with Chris Evans and why they don't seem to like her. I'm not commenting on any of that. I don't know anything. I'm just saying what I saw at a bar. That's it. This is a random person who just saw this couple at a bar. They looked very lovely together. People asked me, was he wearing a wedding ring? I did not look at all. I'm married and I never travel with my wedding ring. So my word would be garbage either way, but I did not look for a wedding ring. I didn't know I should look for a wedding ring. I didn't care to look for a wedding ring. How about that? He was with a girl, brunette-ish hair, and they looked very much in love. They were all having a great conversation. They were laughing. His laugh, oh my God, his laugh IRL. It's exactly what you see in interviews. It is such a joyous laugh. That's how I knew it was him. And it was just so lovely to hear. They were all just having a really, really great time. And again, I wasn't going to be that guy who comes up and be like, oh my God, you're Chris Evans, can I take a photo with you? Like, no, absolutely not. I did not want to do that at all. I just didn't want to disrupt the good time. And also, again, we've had a rough year and it was a tough event that I had just completed. Just being at the bar with Captain America right across from me. I was just like, you know what? Let me just live in the moment. There's some celebrities that just put a smile on your face when you see them. When you look at them and you're like, you know what? That person is a good dude. He deserves all the success he's gotten. And that's what I felt when I saw Chris Evans. And, I was like, oh my God, let me try to take a photo. Let me try to snipe. And of course, because I didn't want to be like, like with my photo up, I just casually went like this and took a photo. And I was not even going to post it. I think I posted it initially on my stories. I was like, Daddy Chris Evans at the bar, like in downtown Boston after the event I did. And I was just gonna leave it there. I was just like, nah, who cares? Like, I'll just put it on my Insta stories. It was cute. But then I was like, you know what? We have a X-Men Marvel podcast. This is pretty decent content for something like that. Let me post about it. So I initially posted about it on Twitter. And then I was like, oh, I don't really have much to post about today on Instagram. So let me just post this blurry ass photo that I took of Chris Evans on the Insta feed as well. And, it's fun. I've ran into Marvel MCU celebrities before. I've seen Catherine Hahn. I've seen Famke Johnson. I've been to the Hawkeye premiere. I've seen Jeremy Renner. I was like, this is just content to put out there. It's just cute. That's it. It is just popcorn content. It's not meant to be of any substance whatsoever. And what's more, it is a blurry photo. So I was just like, I'll just put it out there. It's just something to have for the day because I was spending the day in Salem. I was going to comic book stores. We were going to the Salem Hotel. I don't know what it's called. The downtown Salem area. We're doing spooky tours, getting apple cider, right? Celebrating Halloween season. Salem is also a place me and my husband used to go with our dogs, and we went every year. This is our first year going without them. It was very emotionally devastating for us. I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to put any content that I was putting out on the Instagram or the podcast just to be on autopilot. I wanted to just take photos of downtown Salem, of Harrison comic books. I just wanted to just have a fun time, right? That's it. And so I'm walking around Salem and I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot of DMs. And I was like, I wonder what's going on. Familia, I couldn't believe it. So many DMs coming in, calling me a liar, telling me that I was confused, that wasn't Chris Evans, that was Ben Affleck. If it was Ben Affleck, I would be looking for J-Lo. I promise you, I would go insane if I had Ben Affleck at the same bar because I'd be like, "Where's J-Lo?" I had people accusing me of being paid for by Chris and I don't know, Alba. I think that's the name of his wife. I should Wikipedia, given that I'm doing this video, and so many people have been DMing me about it. I'm assuming the wife's name is Alba, that I have been paid for by Chris Evans and Alba's team to post these blurred photos. Someone even sent me a DM and was like, oh, it's always a blurry photo, isn't it? And I'm like, this isn't something that's scandalous. I'm not like, it's not like me making out with Chris Evans or Chris Evans signing his Marvel contract at a bar and it's a blurry photo. He was not doing anything scandalous. He was just at a bar. And I was just taking a quick photo. I'm like, oh no, this is Chris Evans. And I didn't want to make a big deal about it. Again, this was a nice bar at a nice venue. And I think it would have just felt weird me whipping out, and I was dressed for my gig. It would have felt weird if I had stood up and zoomed in and taken a photo of him. It just would have been, odd. And again, I didn't want to go up to him. That's it. There is nothing else behind the story. I didn't want to just go up and take a selfie. And I took a really quick one on my phone and that's it. I saw Captain America at a bar. That's it. It was super cool. It put a smile on my face. So the DMs that have been coming in have been so mean spirited, Familia, and I'm going to read some of them here. Okay, and I've posted some of these already on my Insta story, so apologies if you've been following along on the Insta stories. And this is repetitive for you. So one of this comes from a user who posted on my Instagram post and said, "How's the attention feeling, sir?" You have clear as day pictures and videos, but now your phone reverted back to a 2005 Razor for this picture. Side eye emoji. If you look at the photo, the whole photo, not the crop photo, I like to think the bottle of water that's in the focus of the shot does not look like a 2005 Razor. And by the way, I had a Sidekick too. Thank you very much. A Juicy Couture pink Sidekick too. Okay, because I was obsessed with Paris Hilton. I sat in section 400 for a concert and still got better pictures and videos than this! Exclamation point. You almost had me with the X-Men stuff. How did I almost have you for the X-Men stuff? It doesn't sound like you even know what Power of X-Men is or that you've engaged with our community before. Been reading for ages. I doubt. I'm sorry. I doubt that. Also, they are sharing your DM messages. You should be more careful. I'm not saying anything contentious with my DMs. As someone in this field, you should know screenshots are forever. Yes, you are absolutely right. Not only are screenshots are forever, but your screenshots, your mean comments are forever as well. But I promise you, Familia, there is nothing in my DMs that I have said that is contentious whatsoever. I have said, LOL. This is so cool. Why are you being so shady? I've said thank you so much for, because I've gotten an outpouring of a lot of Chris Evans stands as well. Who've said like, oh, I'm so sorry. This doesn't really speak for our community. I have said, hey, don't even apologize. I get it. I myself am a fandom nerd with the X-Men, Sailor Moon, Zelda, Joan Didion, even. So I'm literary, I'm comic book, I'm video games. I get it. I get how standums work. No one needs to apologize. But this is an absurd message. Really? Come on. Like, screenshots are forever. Like, okay, sure, that's fine. Someone replied to that message saying, also, those messages you speak of on Tumblr are fake. There are apps for that. I don't go on Tumblr. I didn't know Tumblr was still around. So if someone is now doctoring DMs of me saying whatever, I'm sorry. I don't know. But I assure you, I have nothing to hide on anything. I just saw a celebrity at a bar and I thought it was cool and I took a quick photo of him and I moved on in life until I had to be bombarded by with all these messages. Also, I can't believe it's 2023 and I'm in the middle of a Tumblr scandal. I didn't know Tumblr was still around. And here I've been focusing my efforts on YouTube and Instagram. Okay, another message I got. He is not Chris Evans, so please stop spreading shit. So the person continues, everyone knows he always is seen with his cap and glasses, which he has to take all the time because of his eye problem. Okay, he doesn't even look like Chris with that beer belly or style. So I can assure you it's not him. And that's what people say as well. So stop creating drama. People know the truth. It's such a mean thing to say. Stop the drama. You know the truth. Fine. Listen, you do not believe that I saw Chris Evans at a bar. That is fine. That is 100% fine. I don't care. But why? Let me ask you a question. What is the drama for that? What is the drama for that? Why would you think some random person who has an X-Men podcast, like a D-list X-Men podcast, why would you even give a flying about what they post about? Why would you think this incites any drama? If you are 110% sure it's not him, why would you even care? Why would you go out of your way to message someone and be so mean-spirited? I'm telling you, it was 110% him. I know what Chris Evans looks like. I have been a fan of his since Not Another Teen Movie. I heard the laugh. The people I was with obviously knew it was him. What drama is there? It's so ridiculous. So then I wrote to Twitter. I said, always thought I'd get canceled for thinking Phoenix is more powerful than Scarlet Witch and not posting a photo of a celebrity at the bar. And then someone wrote back saying, with like a little block image saying, I'm very sorry to hear that the direct and predictable results of your actions happened to you. What direct and predictable results happened to me? I posted a photo of a celebrity at a random bar. No, absolutely not. Sorry. Thank you. Next. That's ridiculous. Okay, this next one is my favorite comment ever. What phone did you take the photo with, bro? With a Nokia 1100? That's perfect. That is my favorite comment that I have ever gotten. That is insanely awesome. Another person, or I think this is probably one of the same people who wrote before, said there is a difference between here and Insta. If you get awful messages on Insta and then complain there and not here, well, I don't use Twitter. I don't use X, Twitter, whatever the it's called. This is hysterical. People are literally nitpicking at things that are not nitpicky worthy. But okay, I've never used Twitter. I just posted it there because again, I was like, oh, I saw Chris Evans. Let me just post it here. And then I'm getting an influx of stuff here. Here, people just question the quality of the picture and if it is really him. On Insta, as far as I know, you change from friends to wife, and people ask why. About my Instagram caption for a celebrity that I like casually, that I have not followed the news so closely on, who I just knew got married. Like, that's it. Like, relax. Overthinking things. Jesus. Anyways, let's see. The same person, I think, said in my Instagram post, said earlier said he was friends, but now he is saying he is with his wife. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. And then someone replies, oh, money never sleeps. Yes, Chris Evans' team paid me to post that. So it's gotten like something like 372 likes. Let me see where it's at on Instagram. 491 likes. When we have posted other stuff that has gone so many likes. And I'm sorry, Familia, I hate using the word followers and likes, but in this context, I'm like, no one would ever pay a D-list podcast money to post a blurry photo of a celebrity that's going to get less than like 10,000 likes. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Like, it's so incredibly mean-spirited. Also want to shout out a lot of other people who have just reached out and have said, hey, I'm so sorry about it. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video. There is a lot of Chris Evans fans who have messaged me saying, hey, I'm so sorry. This doesn't speak for our fandom. There's something going on, that you may not know about. There's him and his wife. People don't believe they're married. Sure, fine. I don't care. It is so ridiculous. And apparently Scott Evans, Chris Evans' brother, had said something. And Chris Evans was also seen on a plane recently. And it was like a blurry photo as well. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I didn't know what I was stepping into. If I can just get serious here for a moment. The world has been tough for all of us since the pandemic. And I've lost a lot of people in my life. My dogs died. My mom has dementia. We moved down to Florida. I hate living down in Miami. I miss my life in New York. I'm always on the road. I'm commuting quite a bit. Seeing Chris Evans at the bar of my event just put such a smile on my face. Talking to my husband, I was like, I just got to learn to live in the moment. I got to learn just to appreciate life. Like, how cool is it that Chris Evans was there, and he was so cute, and he looked so nice, and he was so happy. And I posted on Instagram, and here are people just getting so angry about it. It's next level. I can't believe it, Familia. It's one of those things that really you're like, the internet is just angry, right? And I think if someone posting a photo of a celebrity and you don't believe that the person is saying the truth or that's the celebrity, that's fine. I'm not here to get validated or get clout. Someone said I was a clout chaser. You know how many new followers I've gotten? Again, I hate using the word followers, but do you know how many new followers I've gotten since posting that photo? 0. That's it. I don't have any Chris Evans stands coming at me in buckets. So I assure you, there's no clout. By the way, I don't need to chase clout because I've created my own clout with our Power of X-Men Familia, with our podcast, with our community on Instagram. I don't need to post a blurry photo of Chris Evans just to get clout. That's absurd. If I wanted clout, I would have disrupted him having a conversation with his group of friends and asked for a selfie and posted partying with Chris Evans here in Boston. That would have been me chasing clout. Me taking a really quick photo, not wanting to disturb a celebrity, is not seeking clout. Anyways, Familia, that is our episode of Power of X-Men. I'm on the road. We have a couple episodes dropping in the next few days I'm so excited about. We had some really great interviews. if you just came to see me comment on the Chris Evans stuff, leave all of those hateful comments in the comments section below. That's fine. I'll reply to it. I assure you, in between gigs, I'm always at an airport. I'm alone at a hotel. I got nothing better to do. I'm happy to field any questions. I'm also happy to reiterate that Chris Evans' team did not pay me to post these photos. I wish I was that cool. I wish I had a connection to a publicist. It would make so much of my life easier if I knew someone who had an in with an MCU celebrity so I can get them on the podcast and actually legitimately chase some clout. Anyways, Familia, leave your comments below. Ring that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. We have some really great interviews. I'm really proud of the podcast. Cannot wait to share what's on the horizon. And we'll see you later.